Sorry. Click that again. Click happy today. Hello everybody, welcome back to Only Leeds Bros. We have Dylan with us and we have Matty from Imagine Not Being Leeds. Busy man because he was on Just Joe's final word there, so definitely getting around this week. Matty, you're doing loads of bits. How are you keeping, buddy?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. I had a good weekend. I say away with our lass on Friday to York, a few drinks, meal out, and then a bit of IKEA shopping today to get a bit of furniture to start looking a bit more professional on camera. But yeah, it's been good, mate. Good weekend. Ready for work again tomorrow.
Oh, I love it. Happy days. Still, what's happening anyway? How's your Sunday going?
All good, yeah. Got up this morning, about 2:15, 3:15, went for a carvery.
2:15, 3:15?
Yeah, becoming an outfit now. I like to have me dinner early.
my young lad was up at 7:15, I think. Well, I heard him like calling me at 6:30, and I was just like, I can't. And then he was just like, eventually just got so loud. I was like, oh, right. And I was kind of one of them. I was like, I'll put him in the bed beside me and go back to sleep. But like, no chance. He was up and dinosaurs and cars and everything. So yeah, so I've been up since then. And now he's in there, like, and he's like, seemed like nodding off, going to sleep. And I'm just like, yeah, if you hadn't stayed in bed, you wouldn't be nodding off. But anyway, we'll get stuck into it. So yeah, we've obviously had a couple of days to digest it. And there's probably only one place to start, and that's Illan Meslier. Matty, what did you think of it? Having kind of given it time to think about it, what's your thoughts?
I'm not as angry now as I was on Friday, but it's one of them, mate, where it's quite possibly one of the worst errors I've ever seen from a goalkeeper. Right up there. And I remember Nigel Martin doing it in Europe when I was a kid, and I remember the Tim Flowers one. And you see these blooper shows on TV, and that's going to be easily in top 3, and you know what I mean. It's a shocker.
It's going to
I'm
be
not too
everywhere.
sure. Oh mate, it's with social media these days as well. It's a tough place to be when it's solely on you is that error, and I do feel bad for him, and there'll be no one feeling worse than himself. But yeah, it's one of them where it did cost us 2 points. Regardless of which way you look at it. I'm not a Meslier hater, and I don't want to get on his back. Like I say, we need him to be confident because he ain't going to get dropped. That's what everyone's got to remember. They aren't going to drop him. There's no way they're going to play Darlow for me. There's a conversation to be had. I just don't see it happening. But yeah, 2 points gone, mate, in a game that we were totally comfortable on. And I think when you look at how empty the stadium was, it goes to show Sunderland fans didn't even expect him to score. It shows how we were dealing with all the situations they were throwing at us, and it was just such a freak accident, and hopefully he'll never do one again, but it's Meslier and he has these in locker, mate.
Yeah. Did you see the one before I asked Dylan's thoughts on it? There was a video, a fan cam, and he's right up the back, and he's recording it, and you can see the free kick coming in, and the Leeds fans are like, way, and next to they're like, nah. And I think that was like the whole lot. It was like for a split second when I was watching it, and he let the ball go past him, I kind of thought the ref was after blown for like a free out, or like something was after happening, like, and then I just seen all the players like run and celebrate, and I was like, it can't be. Like, and like you're playing over your head now, like VAR, something has to like come in here to stop this. Like this can't be happening. But then like when it sets in, you're like, you can't believe it. Like you can't believe it. But I called it right, Matty, didn't I? I did say they'd get an early one, we'd get in 2-1, and they'd nick a late one. But
you did.
I didn't think they'd get it in that way. I really didn't. But yeah, we'll get Dylan's thoughts on Meslier first anyway, and then I'll say more.
Yeah, I apologise to everyone that seen me here on Friday because I was livid. But like, look, these things happen, but he's a professional at the end of the day. Professional can't be doing that. What annoyed me was the after the match where he's talking to the opposite manager and smiling and laughing. The first thing I do is you'd run to the fans, and you'd put your hands up, take your gloves off and put your hands up and apologise, and then get down the tunnel. And he just didn't do that. And that look, I can speak for every Leeds fan out there, that really, really rattled us and annoyed us.
I think that rattled more than like the mistake itself.
The mistake, yeah.
Whatever you kind of think about Meslier, and like he has obviously divided opinion now for a long time since the Premier League days. And I'm kind of like one of them that he's okay for the championship, but he is going to do that. He is ropey in some games, and I know kind of like last year, like he had like the most clean sheets, and everyone was saying that he was a great goalkeeper. I think that was a lot to do with our defence, but obviously look at that. That's another side to it. But it is that like everybody makes mistakes. We totally understand that, but it's kind of like how you react to it is like the big thing, and kind of being on the pitch and laughing and joking. And I wouldn't kind of mind it if he was standing there with the likes of Strike or Road on it, or kind of having a talk about it, digesting what happened there. But it's when he's with their manager and he's like laughing and joking, and I know like he obviously said he was a youth player with him, but Meslier, like being in the game as long as he's in the game, probably should turn around there and go, look, I'll chat you down the tunnel. Like, not the time, like, not the place to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what angered fans the most, not the mistake itself. Obviously, it is a howler, but like, that's just, it's how you react to it. But you can criticise a player and you can criticise Meslier all you want, but when it comes to abuse, and we've seen a good bit of abuse online and people taking screenshots, you know, with death threats and stuff like this and putting it up thinking, like, it's not going to do on us. Like what you said, Matty, we have to back him. Because he's not going to bring Darlow in and Kearns is not going to come in. We have to back him. And like it or lump it, he's the best goalkeeper that we have at the football club.
Yeah.
You can kind of say that the penalty against Norwich, I think his attempt should have been a bit better. You can never expect the goalkeeper to save it, but his attempt, for me, should have been a little bit better. So that doesn't look great. And then obviously the mistake then against Sunderland, that doesn't look great. So probably the international break has come at a good time for Meslier more than anybody else. He probably just needs to settle down, you know, get his head around it, and then come back. He owes us now, so he's going to have to pull off some worldies and some brilliant performance and win us points. And look at against Sheffield United 2 weeks time on Friday for a winning 1-0, and he makes a save the last minute of the game 1-on-1. We're all praising him that he's won us 3 points, you know what I mean? And that's how quick it can turn. So we just have to support him. It's one of them things that we've no choice really. So yeah.
Did anyone see the photo of him picking up like it's obviously off the, you know, the stuff that they wear, the monitors.
I thought it was a GPS. A lot of people were saying that it's a sprinkler. It's a bit weird. Did you see it, Mate? I don't know. To me, I thought it was a GPS.
GPS, doesn't it? It looks like that. For me,
and I seen it, but then someone put it up on one of the Facebook pages, I think, on one of the Leeds ones. And if you zoom in from when Firpo kind of headed it and it was going back, you can see there is something in front of him.
There is something. There is.
I'm not sticking up for him. Like, I'm not. Look, it's an error at the end of the day, and it happens. I said I'm not really worried about the goal itself. It was the aftermath. That's what annoyed me.
My issue with Meslier goes beyond big mistakes. You know, we all make mistakes, don't we? You know what I mean? At work, in general life, you know, it happens. It's just part of life. But I know he's paid a lot of money, but still, you know, the pressure at the top, you know, whether it's hitting objects or not, these things happen now and again. But my issue with Meslier is he does it quite regularly, not to that level, but not only the mistakes, it's, you know, like when you just want a goalkeeper, I know it's the top keepers I'm on about here, but you know, when you want a goalkeeper just to win your points, I mean, he just doesn't seem to win any points. I remember the Leicester game, last season, when we won 1-0 away, and I think he made a worldie save from a corner. I think
Dewsbury Hall's header, Dewsbury Hall's header at the back post,
What a worldie of a save! I just can't recall too many of them. I mean, a lot of I've had mates saying, but Alisson and Edison do odd mistake like that. I'm like, yeah, but they also win 10 to 15 points for the team per season. Yeah. And I don't think Meslier does that. I mean, I said on Joe's show earlier, obviously the penalty last week, against Norwich, you can't leave that. You can't leave that at his door because it's a penalty and you don't expect keepers to save him. You know, I think they've got like an 8% chance of saving him or something. But it'd be nice to feel like he might fucking save one. You know what I mean? And then the game against Burnley, it was Solomon's slip, an individual error which cost us. But even with that, when that winger were running down the wing, you know it's going in. I felt like he left too much of the goal to his side, and it was just an easy slot home. He didn't make it hard at all for that winger. So it's not always his big mistakes. It's just your keeper breeds confidence through your team or a lack of. And I think we're lucky we've got a really strong spine, especially when Ampadu and Gruev plays, where we have the ball a lot and we defend from front and we don't. Let's be fair. If he were facing 5, 6, 7 shots on target per game, we wouldn't be keeping clean sheets because he hasn't got 4, 5, 6 saves a game in him for me, and that's my biggest worry. Usually, the first shot goes in, what we concede most games, and in the minute we're only conceding maybe 2 or 3 on target, and he's always going to let a couple of them in. So the big error. I'm fuming. I can let it go because these things happen, but my main problem is going forward. Is we've got to back him. We can't get on his back, but ultimately, I don't believe he's nowhere near as good as what we thought he was maybe 3 years ago. And he's still young, but I just don't know if he's got it. And I feel bad saying that because he's a nice kid, you know what I mean? And he's the Iceman, he looks calm, cool and collected, but he's anything but for me. He's just don't bring confidence to me as a fan. I don't know what you guys think of that.
I agree with you. I have to agree with that,
Yeah, look, I think from me with Meslier, when he first kind of came onto the scene and that FA Cup game against Arsenal, and we seen his distribution was unbelievable. Fantastic. It was I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and obviously around that time we had Kiko and he was after getting his ban on that, and we all had the fear of God in us, like we're meant to be pushing for promotion here. And this kid came in and he was unbelievable. And look what you said about Allison and Ederson, look at they're on a totally different level. But their distribution is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Meslier, for me, has declined an awful lot. And I think his distribution was so good was because of the way Bielsa obviously wanted his goalkeepers to play. He knew the system with now. His kicking, I think, for me, is horrendous. Like, if you kind of watch him, and it kind of goes a little bit unseen, he'll kick the ball out of play 2 or 3 times a game trying to find a man. Like, it's horrendous. Like, it's really, really bad. And even sometimes his throwing isn't great. And I think the thing is about goalkeepers, like what you said, Matty, they should breed confidence. They should be commanding. I don't really get that with Meslier. Like, even when we're on defending corners, I have full confidence in Strike and Rodon and our players to go and attack and win it and be strong. It's when the ball is actually whipped in on top of him, I'm not so confident, because we always know 9 times out of 10 he's going to try and punch it, and it's kind of like, well, where's it going to drop? You can't really direct the punch unless you're getting full fist on it, which is very rare going to happen, because you're going to be challenged, you're going to be pushed, you're going to be under pressure. So for me, he just doesn't breed confidence, and I think that's what the problem is with Leeds fans. It's like, he's okay. Every kind of week he'll kind of put in like a 7 out of 10 performance. And like what you said, I don't really recall any other time by Leicester last season that you would say you got a sell jail. I'm sure there is. I'm sure like people kind of clip it up and say, well, look at this save and look at that save. But it's kind of like, well, then you can go, well, look at this mistake and look at that mistake. So it's kind of, he is kind of getting to the point, I don't want to say like Bamford, but he is kind of starting to divide opinion more and more as the seasons are going on. And obviously last season, like when we went on kind of the unbeaten run, the 13-game run, everyone was kind of praising him. It's great. But for me, I was kind of fairly on the fence with, because I think it was a lot to do with the defence. I thought the defence were really, really good in that period. We've been solid.
Saves were down at 16th, 17th in the division, I think, for his actual stats personally. So it just goes to show, like you say, your point there, as defence, you know, the lack of goals conceded, these great runs we went on, were due to the players outfield rather than himself, because individually he were down there, I think, the 16th, 17th best in league, which when we finished third and got to the playoff final, that there proves there's a lot of points dropped there from your goalkeeper, because he shouldn't be 16th in terms of his personal stats. It's way too low, and there's too many points getting dropped there for me. Sorry to butt in, mate.
Yeah. No. And then what you were saying, obviously, he is still a young goalkeeper, and look at goalkeepers can play into their 40s. We've seen what Gigi Buffon has done, like, unbelievable. And he can still go that far, and he can still become a top class goalkeeper. But for me, over the last 3 years, I haven't seen any growth in him, and that's probably the most concerning thing, is that he's a young lad, and we're like, I was kind of sticking with him, especially the year that we survived in the Premier League, and I was like next year Meslier has to push on. He's going to have to show being a top goalkeeper, and he didn't. He was very, very poor, and obviously we're seeing towards the end of it, Allardyce pulled him out, which 100% was the right decision, because he wasn't saving anything. Any shot that went at him and went in, and that was kind of poor, and I kind of thought that was the end for Meslier. And we obviously started last season in the Championship, we were kind of like, is he going to stay? Is he going to be gone before the end of the window? He obviously stayed, but I've yet to kind of see that progression in him. And I think that's probably the most worrying thing. And if we do get promoted, or God forbid if we don't, and we're down here again next season, I don't think I really want Illan Meslier to be our goalkeeper. And that's probably controversial to say, but I just don't think he's done enough. I think if Darlow kind of was pressing him a little bit more, or even Kearns, if they were kind of pressing him a little bit more, there probably would be a conversation there to have. But I just don't think Daniel Farke's going to do it. He's not trigger happy. He's not going to throw the toys out of the bottle water and put Darlow in next week, because then he's basically just shown that he's no confident in Meslier, and that's not going to do anything for the squad going forward. And look at against Sheffield United, if he makes another howler, well, then you're probably talking, right, it's time to make a change. But at the minute, we just have to back him full tilt for me. Anything else to add before we?
I completely agree. He's just.
We'll try and move on to a few positives then, because it's like all the content that you see, whether it's Instagram, X, YouTube, all the content is just Meslier. But like, and I think that's the sad thing, because the one big positive for me, and I don't know yourself, Matty and Dylan, is Joe Rotwell. I thought he was class. I thought he was really, really good, and it was positive to see. Obviously, we were also scared, I'd say, when Tanaka and Rotwell were starting, like, how's this going to work out? I thought they were brilliant against a really, really good midfield, and Sunderland as well. I thought they dominated the game. What did you think of it?
Do you want to go ahead first, Matty, or will I
go? I'd just say, I've touched on it before, and it's one of them where you give up a little bit more of your midfield, don't you, with Rothwell playing, because he isn't as defensive minded, and we know Farke loves having 2 6s in there, and what I do like about him is that he hasn't said to Rothwell, "You've got to play a 6 role." You know, I like how he knows his favourite position is a bit more free up, you know, pushing up the field, and he's letting him play that role. And I mean, you've got to look at a couple of chances on the edge of our box where Joe Bellingham, you know, he had a couple. We spoke, we messaged you, didn't we? You said you were worried that we were going to get one. Luckily, you didn't. I mean, you could argue that area at field's a little bit more compact if we've got maybe Ampadu and Gruev in there. Maybe they're not getting shots from edge of our area because that's something we haven't seen much of this season. Very rare, you know, have you got players free on edge of our box taking shots? But ultimately, it's his 3rd and 4th choice centre midfield partnership. Yeah. You know, it's not going to look as crisp and. You know, for me, Rothwell is coming. He's been a breath of fresh air. I mean, I don't know what you guys think in terms of was there ever a moment where he may have started anyway? You know, I'm not too hyped up on numbers, but you know, being given number 8 shirt, I assumed he was going to be a starter, and then to see him in order to probably 4th choice at the minute, I think. You know, what an embarrassment of riches. I mean, the way he gets the ball in tight areas, he always wants the ball. That's what I really like about him. It's
always
like
wants it,
a born leader. You know, he's only just come inside, but he's demanding the ball, and he don't mind if he's on edge of his own area. He's breaking forward and wanting it on edge of their area, and he shoots.
Not afraid to have a shot, yeah. That's the main thing. He has a pop, yeah.
He looks confident.
He looks so confident
on the ball.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
For me and Dylan spoke about. Sorry, go ahead, mate. Go on. Sorry,
it doesn't look like he's struggling with the weight of that shirt. You know, when you look at the injuries and the stress that team's under at the minute, you know, not only have you lost, you know, your best pal for up to 3 months, you know what I mean? You've lost your leader in Ampadu, and for him to come in so seamlessly and just take that role on in such a high pressure week, you know, Norwich away and Sunderland away, come into it and bar Nonto, who were outstanding, 10 out of 10 almost on Friday night. He's probably his best player in 2 games. Outstanding. So I can't speak highly enough of him, and I'm excited now. Not that I'm gutted about the injuries, but I'm excited for Rothwell himself, you know. For the man himself, I'm excited to see how he goes. Because let's be fair, you're talking Jadon Anthony minutes if we don't have these injuries. And it's showing what a waste that would have been for his own career at 29 years old. He's better than that. And I don't think a lot of people realised, and I'm glad he's got that chance now to show it. And what we want as Leeds fans, and I love Ampadu and Gruev, I'm a massive Gruev fan, and I think he's underrated. But what we want now is to be that good and flying that well that they can't get back in team. Regardless
exactly.
of where that's what we want.
You want that bit of competition in the middle of the park. You know, like as well, looking at Tanaka, like he's receiving the ball, he's looking up and it's gone before you can even look at it yourself. But back to Rowell, I have to agree, mate. I was saying to Darren as well, he looks like he's so fast and quick, but it's just he has a good
tempo.
It's tempo.
It's the tempo he plays at, and it can be mistaken for like quickness. It's his tempo. He gets it and gives it, and it's so underrated in the game that there's times where Gruev, we do rate Gruev. We do think he's solid, and Gruev and Ampadu would be our 4 starters every day of the week if they're started. But there's times Gruev will put his foot on it, and he'll turn this way and he'll turn that way, and he'd look, which is where with Tanaka and Rothwell, it's one touch and they already know it's gone. And I love that, and that's what you want from your midfielders. You want them to be progressive and move the ball quick. And especially us as Leeds fans, we've been crying out to move the ball quick, like the play is too slow. So hopefully they can continue growing. Look, that's the first time playing together, and I thought the 2 of them, they complemented each other really, really well. And let's hope they can grow into it. Did I think they'd put in that type of performance? No, I really, really worried. We obviously spoke about the wings, but the middle of the park for me, with the likes of Joe Bellingham in there, I thought they were going to struggle big time. But like what you said, Matty, you're kind of giving that up. The 2 of them are not as defence-minded as Gruev and Ampadu, and I think that could have been the reason why Bellingham was finding space at the edge of the box. I think if Ampadu and Gruev are there, that's not happening. But then on the other side of it, then you're getting the shots then off the other end of the park, so it's 6 or 1, half a dozen of the other, isn't it? You kind of can't have it both ways, but like we just can't as Leeds fans, can we? But yeah, look, I thought, look, it's a really, really good performance. Everyone in the league was kind of saying, look, Sunderland the best team in the league. For me, I still think it's Sheffield United. Look, they haven't lost the game yet. They had a good 2-0 win again there yesterday. So, and obviously they hadn't got their 2 points, they're top of the league. But with Sunderland yesterday, I don't think they were that great. Did you? I didn't sit back and say, wow, like these are like deserve the top of the league. I didn't think they were kind of much kind of similar to kind of Norwich. They didn't really kind of present that, and that's what I thought. Anyway, what was your kind of thoughts on it?
I just think Bellingham
What do you think,
was the main kind of man in that team, and Riggs as well. But I think they played well in the sense of we're going to put it up to Leeds. Like Leeds are favourites, going whatever into the bookies and all. So they gave us a good match in that sense, and their tempo as well wasn't as quick as us. Oh, sorry, it was a bit quicker than us in the first probably 8 or 9 minutes. Yeah. Then Leeds kind of it came out then and showed us what we were made of. But I thought to be better. If that's the best way to be. I thought he definitely would have been better. But,
they didn't kind of blow me away. They didn't, like, for me, feel like that they were top of the league. I didn't think they're kind of any great shapes. I do think they will be thereabouts, but probably through the course of the season with the young kind of squad they have, probably can't see them falling off. Like we said this last year against Ipswich. So
no, I think they will. I think they'll fall off. If I'm being honest.
Giving like Ipswich vibes at the minute, aren't they?
Like big time.
Definitely giving like Ipswich vibes. That's the worry, really. Just it's for me, they're a young team, quite exciting to watch. And like I said, we spoke in previous one, didn't we? And says we don't begrudge Sunderland a good season. Like they're a decent club, and fans
decent fan base. So
not against them, but quite exciting times, to be fair. Really, really exciting times for them as a club, I would say. Really, really young team. The manager looks like they've got them playing. And when you're that kind of fan base, like a tribal fan base, a bit like us, all you ask, because we've had some turgid players, all you ask is to give everything for a shirt. And I don't, Friday night under lights against Leeds, they give it a good go. But for me, maybe Joe Bellingham, maybe, but there any player in that side I looked at and would have took over any of ours. Maybe goalkeeper, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
goalkeeper.
I think they're
they're sub goalkeeper.
Yeah, man, they're youth goalkeeper. But I think
the ball boy taking the ball boy.
If you just go game by game and just forget about the league because it's early doors, we're doing everything right. You look at the league and you get sidetracked by Sunderland, the top. Sheffield United are doing well as well. Like I said before, Sheffield United worry me a little bit just because they won 1-0 other night and it were an own goal. They tend to get games like we'll never win a 1-0 game with an own goal or that would and like Ipswich did last year. So you'll always get a team who sometimes when you get on a roll, it's easy just to keep going, turning these results out week in, week out, and that is a little bit
winning becomes a habit.
But for all, massively, mate, just like losing does, like bottom at league. But for me, all the stuff that I worry about with Leeds, like set pieces and injuries, and we are up against it at the minute. Like I say, I don't think that's going to hamper us going up. It's just going to make it tighter to second, third, fourth. Harder. It's just we're not. Maybe we won't create a 10-point gap, because we have got frailties in this game. But if I'm looking at Sunderland as the best, even Burnley, these sides, for me, they didn't really lay much of a glove on us. I know the results say otherwise. I lost to Burnley and a draw to Sunderland, but odd mistake, slip, and and that by Meslier, and it's a different. We've got 4 points more. You know what I mean? It's for me, we are by far, man for man, quality wise, the best in this league. Even with these injuries, as bench options that are now starting, would still play for every team in this league. So Sunderland did well. And I think they'll be there or thereabouts. But if I'm honest, I don't expect them to be top two. And, I expect them in playoffs. I do. But I think Sheffield United will be our closest rivals.
I think it's also
I do, mate. I agree with you. I don't think they play the best football. Wilder knows what he's doing.
Wilder's just effective, isn't he? He's just effective.
Yeah, he is. I think, what it is? I think a lot of people in this league have got a really good 11. I think we've got... When we've got everyone fit, we've got, I say a better squad, it sounds ridiculous now. We're looking in free market, aren't we? But I think on the bench, when we've got a fittish squad, we've still got better players than everybody else. I think Sheffield United have got a really good 11. I think Sunderland have got a really good 11. Burnley, really good 11. I just don't think they've got a Dan James, a Solomon, a Piroe, players like that, And I know we have got injuries at the minute, but over a 46-game season, you'd expect that to be enough quality.
Yeah, if we have a fully fit squad, and everyone's on the bench, you're looking like that. If you are starting with Piroe and Piroe, and then you've already seen Rotwell, Tanaka, and then like what you said, you had a James and a Solomon on the bench, like that's some bench, isn't it? Come on, like, and then you're talking about the likes of Gallagher and all falling off that bench, the young lads that have kind of made it on. So I think the squad as a whole, we definitely have the best squad in the division, but it's just typical Leeds that we're kind of getting hampered with these injuries. I do think if you still ask me now, I do think we're still going up. I do still think like we just said, mate, over the course of the 46-game season, I do think our quality will show through. I still do think we'll win it. It's just at the minute, it seems like, I wouldn't say the world is against us. I just see like we're just kind of getting all the bad turns, and we kind of live by what Bielsa always said, is that it all kind of evens out in the end. So over the course of the season, we will kind of get them back. But sure, even there against Sunderland, Piroe was offside. Do you know what I mean? So I know it kind of doesn't really seem fair that you kind of get given an offside goal, but then Meslier does that down the end. Kind of seems like that doesn't really tip the balance. But it kind of does over the course of the season. You will kind of get decisions, especially in the championship, like that with no VAR. You're probably going to get it for both sides, and I do think quality, well, hopefully quality towards the end of the season is going to show through, and it does kind of see us up. What do you think?
I think that I still need an apology of yourself and Matty and Danny as well. Just showing that out there.
Saying Matty, as soon as the team line-up came on, it popped up on my Instagram. Matty was texting me going, Piroe. And he was like, "Your boy, the love." Yeah, I just couldn't believe it, Matty. Did you? Like, I was just like, first of all, it couldn't hit me. I was like, "What's he doing?" I was like, "Piroe's not going to be able to press." Like, but he did okay, didn't he, Piroe? Like, he didn't do what Joseph did. He didn't kind of press as hard, but he did. Like, his whole play was decent enough. He obviously helped scoring the goal. I think if you take the goal away from it, you're probably looking at it from a different side of it. But he did look dangerous, didn't he?
Man of the match.
And it's kind of like, what do you do now?
Here's your flowers, mate.
I'm here all week. Thanks. I'm here all week.
Yeah.
He got his goal. I felt he didn't drop us deep in this game. I don't feel like, maybe it helps having Aronson behind him. He really helps with pressing. Ramazani and Nonto, press life out of their defence. And Piroe, to be fair, I'm going to say he didn't press because they did it. He really worked his socks off. But I feel like when he doesn't have to go as deep to get the ball, which for whatever reason in that game, I don't know if it's with Rothwell playing, it allows him.
It's probably Rothwell pushing the whole thing up. Yeah, he's no choice but to go high, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, but usually you see him dropping into centre circle, and he ain't got that close control, and he ain't got the best of passes. So he's trying to do link up play. He ain't the best. He's best at just being in box and waiting for his moment.
Waiting for it. Yeah.
And if we can play like that, I mean, I'm a big Josie fan, as you know, and like you say, Dill, but we knew even besides that, Piroe's the best finisher in the side, and maybe even in the league, he will put that chance away. There's no saying Joseph would have scored that, and he went offside slightly, marginal that, but he held his run really well. And for me,
you don't want to see them giving offside, don't you? Like, you don't want to see them giving offside, like them, especially when his legs are behind the ball and it's just a shoulder ahead of it. Like, I hate seeing it. Even in the Premier League, I hate seeing them giving us offside. Danny has a response for you, Dillo.
I can just imagine Dylan's face when he scored. I can just imagine.
I'm at ordering loads of flags with his face on it. I'm just going to put them everywhere.
He just takes me straight away. He's like, I told you, Matty, I told you.
What do you reckon going forward, though, lad? Do you reckon he keeps his shirt now, or do you?
I was literally about to ask the question as well. Like, on what do you think, Darren? Do you think we should start him against Sheffield United?
I mean, for me,
I think that's.
I can't tell him. Did he start him tactically because he thought he'd play better, or did they start him for the tired legs? Because I think if it's for the tired legs, he'll go back with Joseph. If he did it as a tactical switch to see if it would work, I think he'll go with Piroe, because for me it did work. But the fact he scored, if it was just resting his legs, I don't think that'll play into Farker's mind, because I think he's quite happy for him to keep scoring whether he's on bench or not. But there were a conversation to be had anyway, and now that's even more. And I've always said it's good to have Piroe on bench because he's a good impact player. But because he's scoring, but as an impact. Generally, Joseph will have a great impact too. Do you know what I mean? The way he comes on and presses, James. We just haven't seen that impact yet, but his attributes will bring so much to the last 20 minutes of a game too. So I'm easy either way now, lads. I'm easy either way.
Yeah, I think what you said, Matty. I think he probably did take Joseph out of the firing line just because there was questions starting to be asked him. Not because his general play was still really good. His whole play was class. He just wasn't scoring. And I think he probably thought, look, he's a 19-year-old lad. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. We keep kind of talking about the weight of the Leeds United sure. So he probably just thought, look, at away at Sunderland, he might get bullied a little bit against the likes of Chris Mepham. Do you know what I mean? He would probably bully him. We've seen it against Norwich. He got bullied a little bit. So maybe Fark just hadn't his head. Maybe it is time now to kind of take him out, get Piroe on there with his little bit of experience. And look at, he took his chance, and he played really, really well. So for me, he probably will start him against Sheffield United. I think he is going to start. Probably the Dylan's delight there, but I'd go with Joseph, just because it's general all-round play, especially at Ellen Road. We're going to need them press. We're going to need to be on the front foot against them. We can't have a Piroe that's going to kind of be a lazy Piroe, or kind of half-arse in the press. I think we kind of need to be up and at them straight away, especially because I think Sheffield United, for us, I think it's a must-win game, and I know that's kind of ridiculous to say earlier on, but off the back of 2 draws away from home, I think we need to start getting points on the board, and we need to be winning the home games, even if it is against Sheffield United. But what a marker would that put down to the rest of the division if we do go and beat them? Yeah. Again, then you're talking only 1 loss in 10 games, and obviously that will be their first loss of the season as well. So I do think Sheffield United, it's probably going to be the biggest game of the season so far. I know we said that against Sunderland as well, but I think Sheffield United is going to be the toughest test of the lot.
I think we said that Bogle was going to score an assist in that game, and Matty has to get down into his underpants. Am I right? Was that the that bookmarked? I think now. We won't be letting that go, Matty. We won't letting that go.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, well, look, other than the go ahead, Matty. Sorry, you got.
It's gonna be a belting game. I mean, we all know what Wilder's like. He's going to have him riled up. They're going to bring full allocation to Welland Road. And I'm a big believer in, well, to be fair, it stats prove it. You get draws away from home and you win, at home and you go up. That's only all right if you're winning your 3 points at home. So 2 draws away from home, 2 points. We'll drop points at home against Sheffield United. They become bad points. We beat Sheffield United. We'll go joint on points with them, probably into the top 2, and those 2 points become brilliant points. It's all just context applied. You know what I mean? For me, it's been an all right week under through adversity. Come out of the side. We haven't been beat. You can build momentum on draws, even though that will feel like a loss 100% on Friday night. You can build momentum off back of draws. Not losing, get these runs together. What were it, 13 match unbeaten last year? Yeah, we've had more draws in this season. We have, but we go at Ellen Road and we put Sheffield United at sword, and all of a sudden, those 2 points
on the front foot.
It's going to be a smashing game.
But on the flip side of that, if it goes wrong, then it could be a bad one. But I'm expecting a tasty one. I wouldn't
imagine an early goal if they get an early goal against us. Could you imagine Ellen Road if they get an early one against us? I couldn't even think about it. It just we just need to be at them straight away. I'd love us just getting an early one. Do you remember Leeds against West Brom, the 4-1? Do you remember Pablo Nanda scored in 13 seconds? Yeah. That would just be the ideal thing. Just settle the whole place down, get an early goal, and we can all just go right.
I
think it's going to be a tasty game, big time. 100%.
Yeah, it's got definitely.
There'll be a red card in that. There'll be a red card. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, there probably will.
There'll be a red card. It's going to be a really, really feisty affair, and is it ever a boring game against Sheffield United? Even if it's a 0-0, we've had 0-0s and 1-0. It's never a boring game. And I don't like to use them as a big rivalry, but that's all we've got really been in the Championship. We always look at Chelsea's and that, but it's the first fixture I looked for on the calendar. Sheffield United at home. First one when they come out. So it's the one I'm looking forward to more than any game. And Wilder has made it a bigger game by way he acts. So it just makes it tasty, doesn't it? I can't
I'm looking forward to that as well. As you know, me and Darren got tickets, so obviously meet you for a point as well. So I can't wait. I'm itching. I can't wait for this international. Sorry, a couple. Yeah. But no, I'm really looking forward to that one. To be honest with you,
the only kind of disappointing thing is to me is I seen, I don't know if you put up on the Instagram the other Pablo Escobar meme where he's just standing there just sitting on his kitchen table and just sitting on a swing in the garden, and it's just it just keeps hitting me about Meslier dropping it. I was feeding the kid there earlier on and he's just looking at me and I'm just and then it just hits you and I'm just staring at the sky. It just keeps coming back. It's haunting me. It just keeps coming back. And I think the worst thing is now with 2 weeks.
I've seen a Scooby-Doo picture where taking Melia's mask on it, Paul Rachupka.
There's the one where Homer's in the bath and he's washing himself and he's just trying to enjoy my Saturday, and then Bart's just there behind him with a chair and he's Melier's error. And it's just I just keeps coming back. But that's the worst part. We have 2 weeks now to think about this. It's not like it happened on Tuesday night and like we have a game like say on Saturday and we can kind of forget about it. It's like now we've 2 weeks to just sit there and stew on Mellier's mistake. It's not like we can go again next week and get it over and done with. Like, so it's just typical lazy now we have to sit and think about now for the next 2 weeks. But yeah, boys, I think that's kind of all it. Anything interesting coming up on your channel, Matty? Obviously your first in a big week. It's been a busy one for you. And planned for next week.
A couple of days off, I hope, and then yeah, look, I don't know, mate, I've got a few ideas. I think we need to try and get a regular show. We just need to think of a name where we can get on each other's channel regular and do something. I'm really enjoying this. I'm thinking of doing some bits in international break. About, to be fair, I need to touch on the season as a whole. To be fair, I mean, what we're 9 games in now. You normally benchmark 10 games, 9 games in. 10 games in, you normally have a bit of a benchmark where you are as a side. And with me starting my channel this week, you know, there's a few games prior that I want to touch on as well, and a few performances and that. So probably going to be a bit of a season so far coming out within next 3 or 4 days. But yeah, just hopefully upgrading my equipment and yeah, enjoying it. It's been I've had a really fun week, and it's
been a whirlwind for you, isn't it?
It has.
Yeah, it's great. Your videos have been great, mate. To be fair, now I've watched them all.
I appreciate that, Bill.
You know,
you never know, do you, when doing it yourself and you're watching back, it's so cringe. You know what I mean? You never know how some people are taking them. So it's really.
I can't watch these videos back. What happens. I mean, like, you know, if we do something wrong or say something where the mic cuts out, the camera goes off. I can't look at it. Would it be like driving to work in the morning? I can't look at that.
I don't really mind the lives. I find the lives like more kind of like free flowing. But like when you're doing like the pre-records, that's when I find they're like, it like feels like there's more pressure on you or something. For some reason, it feels like you kind of have to get every word right, and it's like if you don't, think like, oh, start that again, or I didn't say that right or something. Or I didn't say this. It's just
that's going back to our first video, Darren. If you remember, we might as well tell everyone in the shed like me and Darren got like a bad case of the giggles, like for a solid half an hour, 40 minutes.
Just couldn't stop laughing at each other.
Every time Darren kept saying, "Welcome to Only Leeds Bros," I was out the door getting sick laughing.
We just kept laughing. We actually turned down and looked at each other after about a half an hour. We couldn't get the video right, and we're like, "Oh, maybe this isn't for us." Like, I don't know what it was. We had to open the shed door. We went outside for a couple minutes and gone, right, look, this is the last take. If this doesn't work, we'll call it a day. And it worked. So yeah, here we are now. It's still going anyway. We're enjoying it anyway, yeah. So
you've got a good take on it being brothers, mate. It's meant to be fair. Yeah. I think your channel's mint, and I try to catch all your videos. Like I didn't watch your Aftermath on Friday till Saturday, but yeah, I love your content. Yeah. I think it's a great view having 2 brothers go at it. So you're doing right.
Thanks very much, mate. No, I appreciate. That's what we kind of just wanted something like a little bit different, and it's kind of hard. Like obviously, you know yourself with the likes of Joe and Jared, everyone kind of has their own kind of like little niche and their own little thing, and it's like how are you going to kind of come into this and like be something different, you know, that what people kind of like and watching. As we kind of said, 2 brothers kind of bounce over each other. Obviously, I don't know if you have a brother, Matty, but myself and Dylan can kill each other at times, like, and especially when it can come to Leeds, like it can get tasty. Like we'll agree on a lot of things, but then there's times the 2 of us will be like at loggerheads, like the Piroe situation and that. But like kind of thought that might make for good viewing. But yeah, look, it's been great. And again, look, thanks for the shout out on Joe's channel. That was obviously class. Dylan texted me, said that he was crying when he heard that. He couldn't believe it. That's the best moment of his life, even over his kid being born.
No, the best moment is going to be Friday under the lights, Ellen Road, Sheffield United, and just walking into the dressing room with Piroe, holding his hand. That's the dream.
You'll be putting Piroe socks on for him.
Oh no, he's gonna walk me out as one of the kids. Like that's
you're gonna be mascot, eh?
Full kid, you know.
Piroe Junior on the back of your shirt. Right, lads, I think that at least we can laugh about it. I suppose time's the healer, isn't it? Like we aren't laughing this time on Friday, but we kind of just have to knuckle down and get over. We used to kind of Leeds United against the world. Like my phone was hopping on Friday night with Scum fans, Liverpool, Chelsea fans. I was still getting them today of just laughing at us and try to give a little bit back with the United results. But yeah, it was just getting user in the championship, so you're kind of like, can't really give any stick like that.
A mate of mine's a Scum fan, and he texts me, and I've just blocked him on everything. That's just it, like, you know. That's the end of it.
Yeah,
so.
through worse. We've been through worse, lads.
We've been through a lot worse.
What a
right,
club,
boys, yeah. I think we'll wrap it up there. Anything to add before we say goodnight?
Just check out Matty's channel. Imagine not being Leeds. Really good content down there, guys. Great fella. That's where we're at, you know.
Love that. Right, boys, thanks a million. We'll chat you all soon. Have a
See you
good one
then.
Monday, tomorrow. The weekend is back, or the week is back, and it's a quick weekend this, wasn't it? Flew around.
Yeah.
Back to work again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, have a good one. Enjoy. We'll chat you all soon, and take it easy, yeah?
Okay, look.